I met Krista 3 years ago, and my life changed big time. I met her at a Reiki workshop. I had never heard of Reiki, and someone's like, you've got to try this. And it was a yoga Reiki workshop where we just relaxed on the floor, and she came around and did Reiki on us. And at the time, I was really going through a horrible time with depression and anxiety, and was seeing a therapist like 3 times a week just to survive, and was on all kinds of medication. And so I went to this workshop, and as Krista laid hands on me and started doing this Reiki, and I didn't even know what that was, I just came to the class, I started having visions of myself happy. And I had a vision of myself as a little girl on the shores of the Mediterranean. And it wasn't me, but it was me. And so afterwards, I went to one of my friends and I'm like, can you tell me what this was? And she's like, oh, you had a journey, a vision journey. You have to get a session with Krista. And she gets on the phone and she makes the appointment with Krista for me. And I didn't know what was going on at that point. I was like, all right, I'll show up and I'll talk to this lady and see what happens. And so the first thing Krista asked me when I go to her appointment is, why are you here? And I'm like, I don't know. My friend made the appointment. I was like, I'm not doing well, so I'll take whatever you can give me. She's like, okay. And so I lay there, and I thought it was just going to be Reiki, but apparently I had signed up for the intuitive healing session, and all of a sudden there's like rattles and feathers and smoke, and I have no idea what's happening. But I know I have all these emotions coming up that I had been pushing down, and something was going on, and I felt her, like, she did this thing where she like rubbed her hands down my arm and like removed something from my hand that wasn't there. And I felt better and lighter when she did it. And I popped my eyes open and said, what was that? And she goes, don't worry about it. And so I closed my eyes again and just laid there. And then after the session, she's like, okay, some stuff has come up. Just so you know, you had an energy attachment, what some people would call a ghost, and it was the ghost of a disappointed father. So I went ahead and removed him, so you shouldn't have that problem anymore. And I was like, oh no, that was probably my real father. He's always disappointed with me. And every conversation I'd had with my dad for years, I had felt his disappointment and how I just wasn't good enough no matter what I did, no matter what I accomplished. And Krista's like, no, you'll see. And that was it. And so I go home, and my dad calls me out of the blue, which he didn't call me often, so it was kind of unusual. And I'm like, oh boy, here we go. We had the best 30-minute conversation I've ever had with him. And I didn't feel any criticism. I didn't feel like I wasn't good enough. I just felt like my dad wanted to check on me. And I was like, what was that? I told my husband all about it, and I'm like, I have to know what this chick is doing, what she's into. I need more of it. So my husband's like, okay, go ahead and see what she's got going on and sign up for it. So I started going to her intuitive awareness classes, and I started going to her mentorship program, and eventually she offered the Return to Wholeness program, and I think that's where it really got serious. But yeah, I've grown in every way, and I'm happier than I've ever been. Like, I didn't even know being this excited about life was possible. Yeah, so I'm doing great. I love Krista, and Willow Tree Medicine has just been incredible for me.